golden morning down here on the far southwest coast of Cornwall. Really excited to get out today. First time in ages. I'm going crazy. I just haven't been fishing anywhere near as much as I would have liked for the last month or so. And yeah, got something new to try out behind me. Where is it? There it is. You're not going to get a close-up look at it today. That setup video is coming another time, but we're going to do some really fun fishing today. The stuff that I sort of dream about, getting out to the reefs, dropping big lures down, not knowing what you're going to catch, but a lot of excitement for it. Stunning conditions in early April here. It's really come together nicely. We've got a little bit of a breeze, but skies are clear, the swell's small. I'm sure there's going to be some fish out there biting. So let's get on with it. Let's get the engine started up and make our way out. Well, here we are, steaming out slowly now. Joined by my brother Morgan here today. Serious fishing machine. Last time we saw him was possibly when he lost a humongous fish on the Eddystone Lighthouse due to his rod snapping. So hopefully we can make up for that today. And it's looking really nice. As you can see, there's a lot of space for us in the Excel Volaire here. There's one of the sort of benefits of getting a bigger boat like this is fishing two. You know, we're sat up here, sort of spread out across here at the moment. Plenty of space, and there's like a whole boat ahead of us for moving around and putting kit. And we've gone quite light today. We've only got a couple of rods and essentially a lure box and a few bottom rigs in case we get fed up with the lures, but that's it's highly unlikely today. so without further ado, we're going to steam out a bit, push out through this light bit of chop and find some fish. Where we are today, we're just surrounded by awesome reef. All around us there's large rocky pinnacles sticking up from sort of 40-50 meters, and it just creates the most awesome area for fishing with lures. I've got my setup that I always like to use for this style of fishing, the H2O Nebula SP with a 4,500 pen loaded with 25-pound braid, and we're going to be focusing on lures like I said earlier today. This is a Fish Black Minnow number 6 in a nice bright glittery light blue colour, and I think that's a 90-gram head on it, so perfect for getting down to that sort of 30-20 meter range. And I'll show you real quick how I'm going to work these lures. I'm basically just dropping it down right down to the bottom. I've got a fish finder here so I can see the depth of water. If you have a little look at the fish finder, you can see we're in about 17 meters, but it does drop off fairly quickly here. It drops off and banks up fairly quickly, so that will be the lure pretty much down there already. And I'm just giving it a few winds, feeling where it is, and then a very slow retrieve. You can feel it getting knocks already, just a very slow retrieve. Sometimes you can give it a few little bumps on the way up and then back down again. I like to bring it up mid-water, so if we're in 20 meters here, I want to bring it up to about 10 meters. And I don't like fishing it too close to the bottom because you just go through loads of them otherwise. You don't need to, especially if you're fishing for pollock and coalfish, which is the sort of target at this spot that we're at now. They'll come up and take it mid-water. If they see it, when you're dropping it down, they'll sort of lock onto it and then they'll follow it all the way up, and you'll get them hitting it just under the boat sometimes. Very exciting way of fishing this. You're just sort of slowly bringing it up and just waiting for that slam. It's a beautiful day. We're pretty much on slack high water at the moment, so I'm expecting it to be a little bit slow. We can concentrate our efforts around one little area, and then as the tide picks up, we're going to do some longer drifts and vary up the method of attack with jigs and different ways of fishing our lures in different depths and around different bits of structure. But I think we're in for a really good one. Let's do it. The tide today is extremely fast. We're on a fairly big tide, but the tide always rips through here, and it's just starting to ebb now, and I'd say it's moving at least 2 knots, so we're really having to plan our drifts carefully and sort of line ourselves up to cover as much reef as we can. Instead of just focusing on one small point, I'm trying to get a nice sort of wide area of reef that we can drift across for a little bit instead of just doing 1 or 2 drops and then having to reset, because that's a right pain. So we're trying to go across the whole reef section here, but yeah, I mean, I'm going sort of tick over now, and it's only just holding against this tide. So yeah, really challenging conditions to fish in, but this is one of the sort of the traits of this area that make it so good, that bring all the food and fish in. And yeah, it's really ripping through right now, really ripping through, hence having to use such big heavy lures, because you just wouldn't get down there with 40 grams, not in an effective way anyway. Here we go into the first fish of the trip for me. Changed over to a different colour of black minnow, and we're just over 20 odd metres of reef here, out in the middle of nowhere basically. And yeah, hooked into a nice one. Don't know what it is. Have a little look. What is it? Ah, nice product. There we go. On the fluoro orange black minnow. Lovely stuff. Tell you what, I haven't had a nice fish in a while. It's been such a long time since I've been out properly. So to get into one of those, that puts a smile on my face. Fantastic stuff. But I know they get bigger here. I know they get bigger, but that's a nice stamp to start the day off. Just lip hooked, and that's the colour that did it. The fluoro black minnow there. These just seem to work really well on the pollock. Those nice bright colours, proper stuff. There we go. Right, well, we've got something pretty spectacular here. I said that Morgan wanted to make up for his last appearance on camera, and he has gone and done it. Look at that for a Couch's bream. That is huge. Huge. Lovely stuff. Serious fish that. Just blown away by catching this in March. Let's just get a close up, because it is gigantic. In the deeper water, we were doing a bit of jigging in the deeper water. Look at those teeth. And yeah, you got it in. We went a bit crazy with the net, and we were jumping around all over the place, so I couldn't grab the camera, although I've got a bit of underwater footage that hopefully looks alright. But that is a serious fish to catch down here in Cornwall. So congratulations, mate, well done.
Brilliant.
Well, this is quite interesting. I've just pulled up a pollock, and as you can see, it's chucked up a herring. That's a massive one as well. So that's what they're feeding on, these fish. Big herring coming through with the tide. And yeah, rather interested in our black minnows at the same time. Here we are, it's just chucked it up. That is what it had in its mouth. That whole herring. That'd be a good bait, wouldn't it? Yummy. So yeah, interesting to see what they're chucking up. Here we go into a lovely fish here in a bit of shallower water. The tide's slackened off enough for us to sort of fish this long stretch. You can see here how turbulent it is, and yeah, even with a 90-gram head, it's still a challenge. But what we got here, I think it's a nice pollock. Yeah, that is that fantastic fish. I'll get it to the side of the boat here. Seeing that other one with the herring in its mouth just made me think I'm going to go for a colour I can imitate the herring with, and this blue one is doing the trick for me. There we go. It's a lovely stamp of fish here, you know. That's a good fish. Great fun. I know they get a bit bigger though, but there we go on the number 6, a 90-gram head. Lovely job. It's Morgan's day today because he's into another fantastic fish. It's already gone on some tremendous runs, and as he was saying, it feels really heavy. Is that right, Morgan?
Yeah, it is. Nice heavy fish.
In the deep
Didn't
water.
feel like it was hooked. Felt like I didn't even know it was hooked for a long time. And this one on a massive run.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what this might be. I think it's not fighting like a pollock, is it?
No, it's
We've had
heavy.
so many pollock today, but it's not fighting like a pollock. I've got the net ready.
Oh.
Anticipation, yeah. You've been fighting this for a long time now.
Yeah.
There we go. Doesn't want to come up yet. That's a good sign when it's running like that. That is a good sign.
Whoa.
Yeah, this is a good fish. There we go.
There it is. Massive pollock, is it?
That's a pollock. He's done a bad job of netting it. Ah, and it's in. That's a massive pollock. You can take the net. Alright, there you are. Lift it out. Oh, great fish. Here we go. Look at that. Yeah, that was fighting like a trooper, that was.
Oh, he's going some runs, isn't he?
Yeah, that's a beauty.
Lovely
Wow,
fish.
nice one, mate. Another great fish in the deeper water. Well done. After not being out for such a long time, I am really enjoying just sort of going around and finding the spots, seeing where the fish are, and just exploring this awesome sort of area of coast and reef. This whole sort of reef system just fishes so well, and yeah, really interesting. Changing things up a bit now. I'm going over to a slow pitch jig. This is a sidewinder Loki. Quite like this jig here. Morgan's on with another jig, 200 grams. Yours is, mine's 150. You've got a brighter colour, and I've gone for a more natural pattern. And we are in 23 meters of water. Nice bit of structure. It's really bright now. The sun's really beaming down on us, and as you can see, there isn't a whole lot of movement swell wise. There's a little bit, but it's still quite a bit of tide. Even though it's slack tide now, there's still quite a bit of movement, as you can see from the disturbance on the surface here. So yeah, really enjoyable just to be out in the sun doing a bit of fishing. Well, cashing in on the jig action here. The fish seem to be going mad for them. Sometimes, you know, when you have a bit of a slow patch on the soft plastics, it pays to change over to them, especially when you're in deeper water, because you can be confident that it's working right near the bottom if that's where you want to be. I think we're into a decent pollock here. Whoa. It's not giving up. Sure. It's just been a day of good fish, really. We have had quiet patches. When we first got out here, actually, it was really quiet. We were trying all over the place, but it picked up.
Oh, Owen, what you wanted.
Oh, what I wanted. What I wanted. There we go. There we go. I think I might just be able to grab this one, actually. Looks pretty well hooked. There we go. What I wanted exactly. This is the first time I've caught one of these, and I must say it is absolutely beautiful. It's got these awesome blue dots running along the flank there. What a stunning fish on the jig. Not quite as big as yours, buddy, but a nice fish nonetheless. That's a cracker. That's my first time catching a Couch's bream, and on a lure as well, of all things. Fantastic. So that's it now. That's the end of the day for us. The wind's starting to pick up a bit. It's getting really cold, and the tide's sort of changing, and we've got to head in. It's getting late, but it's been a really fun one today. I've had a new fish, you know, a new species, and a great size one. Morgan's had his PB. It was fantastic to get amongst those Couch's bream, because really unexpected in early April like we are at the moment, and it's been a beautiful day. Gotten the boat out for its maiden voyage, chuffed with that, the Excel Volaire, and you know, just had a good day's fishing. It's a bit of like therapy, isn't it, coming out fishing? I haven't been out in such a long time, so to come out here, have a nice day on the water with the sun shining down and catching some lovely fish, it's yeah, it just sort of makes you feel refreshed, doesn't it? Thank you very much for watching. Please go and subscribe if you haven't done so already. I've got lots of exciting videos coming up this next couple of months, and I'd hate for you to miss out on them. So yeah, go and subscribe, like and comment on the video. It all helps it out. It all helps to you know, motivate for more videos in the future. And there's going to be some exciting ones